Allah Almighty, by His divine grace and by His mercy, created Aqaid Alam Noori Mujassam sallallahu alayhi wasallam's Noor first. This is the Aqidah of the Ahlul Sunnah. First was created the Noor of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and from that Noor is this entire kainat. Aka Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah Almighty made Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he came in the form of insan into this alam and dunya. Allah made him like none other. Neither was there anybody like him before, nor will there be anybody like him in the future. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is unique, matchless, peerless in every way. None can compare to him. Allah has blessed him with everything which is unique. The Wahhabis and the Bad Mazhabs and the deviants, they compare that Rasul Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam is just like a big brother. Why? Because he is like us. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam has two hands, we have two hands. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam has two eyes, we have two eyes. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam hears, we hear. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam does this, we do this. So the only difference is that Allah has given him more fadilat than us. That is what they say. The only difference is that Allah has given him more fazilat than us, a greater status than us. He's just bigger than us. This is not the case. This is not the case. There is nobody like Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam in any way. There is nobody like Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam in any way, and there will be nobody like Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah created His Nabi in the most unique and the most beautiful way. Allah Almighty created His Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the most unique and the most beautiful way, and that is why throughout the world, in every nook and corner of the world, the true believers and the Muslims, what do? They commemorate the Mawlud of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They remember the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they don't only remember it on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal or in the month of Rabiul Awwal. That is special. That is the special blessing. They remember it every day, every moment of their lives, because they know ke wo jo na the to kuch na tha. They know if he was not, there was nothing. This air that you breathe is the sadaqah of Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This air that you are breathing, this oxygen that you are breathing, this is the sadaqah of Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every time that you open and you close your eye, yes, Allah has given all of this to us. All these faculties are given by Allah. He's Qaadiri Mutlaq, He's the creator, He's the Khaliq. Allah has given all of this to us. But Allah gave us this because of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you open your eye and you close it, you just open and shut or blink your eye. Even that blink is the sadaqah of Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. You must understand, you must remember that today there is this ideology, fake ideology, that goes around where that don't overpraise Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's been carrying on for the last 100 years. Don't overdo this, don't overdo that. There is no such thing as overpraising Rasulullah. They say, no, if you praise too much, you'll make him like Allah. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How is that even possible when you say Rasulullah? How is it even possible when you say Nabi Allah? You are saying he's Allah's Rasul, he can never be Allah. This is our Aqidah, isn't it? Allah is Wahdahu la Sharik. There is nobody. This is a false charge against the Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat that we make Rasul Pak equal to Allah. Ma'adallahi Rabbil Alameen. Yes, but we do say that Allah has made His Nabi the greatest in the entire creation. Allah is the creator of everything. You went to madrasa, We learned, everybody learned in the madrasa when you went, Allah created the sky. Don't we go to madrasa, we learn this basic thing? Allah created the sky, Allah created the sun, Allah created the moon, Allah created the earth. Do you know why you learn this? You learn this so that you understand that sky is so exalted, the moon is so bright, the sun is giving us light, and all these things are so great. But the greatest in all this creation is Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So greater than that sun is the sun of Medina. Greater than that moon is the moon of Medina. That sky of which is the sun and the moon, all of them, look at how it is. Look at how high. If you look at the sky, you have to look like this. But in reality, you look like this. But they are there so that they could look down. They are there so that they could look down. Why? To make ziyarat of that place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Understand? Rasul Akram Noori Mujassam sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best of Allah's creation. There is nobody like him. And anybody who compares to the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in any way is out of the fold of Allah's deen. It has nothing to do with the deen of Almighty Allah. Today, what is the reason? What is the reason that Sayyidina Salahuddin Ayyubi radiallahu anhu, whose misal is in this month, I think on the 27th. Why is it that people like Salahuddin Ayyubi radiallahu anhu, when they walked into the doors of today's Palestine, and that time was then, what was the thing that they needed? Without shedding a drop of blood, they did what they did. Why did they do this? Because in their heart they took the ishq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they took the love of the awliya. People know, very few people know. Today we heard Muhammad Ishaq reading a kalam. What did he read? Kalam of Tajushariah. What Tajushariah say? Sadqa Rasul Pak ka jholi mein dal do. Sadqa Rasul Pak ka jholi mein dal do. Hum Qaadiri fakir hai. Ya Ghawth al-Madad. We are not the only Qaadiri fakir. Salahuddin Ayyubi was a Qaadiri fakir. Salahuddin Ayyubi was a Qaadiri fakir. All what he did, yes, the ishq of Rasulullah was burning in his heart. It was glowing in his heart. But how did he do that? Because when he was a child, his father took him in the court of Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak, and Ghaus Pak put his hand on him and made dua and said that he'll be a victor and a conqueror. The conquest of that place at that time and the success at Palestine then was the sadqa of Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak on the hand of Salahuddin Ayyubi. Go and read history. Go back and read history. But you know, to say hum Qaadiri fakir hai is easy. Sirf kehna mat. Don't only say it, be like it. Be like it. Be like those who stood firm for the deen of Allah. Be like those who didn't fear the enemy of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Be like those who leave alone would not even sit, leave alone sitting. They wouldn't even want to look towards that person who had any word that was negative in the court of Allah and His beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Remember and understand that if you want to protect your identity, and this is very important. This is very important. Each one of us, do you know how we need to become? Each one of us. We need to become like lamps. That the flame in that lamp only directs itself towards the court of Allah and His beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And those who are dear and near and beloved in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The biggest problem that we have today is that people have lost their identity. We are having a major identity crisis. This is a major problem. They say the identity crisis is because of this place and this and that. No. For us, it is because we have forgotten how to do what the beloved servants of Allah taught us. We are ashamed. Our youth are ashamed to say Assalamu alaikum to one another. How many youngsters you see at brothers that are in the university, how many of you say to each other when you meet in the morning Assalamu alaikum, or you say how's it? Let's be blunt. When you go someplace, how many of you are proud to have your topi on your head? When the time of namaz comes, how many of you say, without fear, that I need to go and make my namaz? Handful. What is the reason for that? Identity crisis. We know who we are, but we want to hide. We don't want to show who we are. You must remember, you will only show who you are when you recognize yourself. If you want to recognize yourself, you know what is the meaning of self-recognition? Self-recognition is not to put your collar up and say, I own a BMW. Self-recognition is not to say, I own a huge, massive mansion. Self-recognition is not to look at yourself and say, in the mirror, look at how smart I look this morning. This is not self-recognition. Self-recognition is to recognize your inner self. Self-recognition is to recognize your inner self. Because when a man recognizes his nafs, his inner self, then he recognizes his position as a servant in the court of Almighty Allah. Then he remembers that. The reason, let's be honest, let's look at ourselves today. If you walk into a shop, I'm being very blunt about this. Okay? These are general discussions that we should have. We're talking about Allah's beloved Nabi. Yes, but this is very important. Look at each of us, we are guilty, except for those who Allah is protected. When you walk into a shop, into, let's say, one of these branded shops where you go to buy your clothes or your shoes, or even into a restaurant or some other place. When you walk inside there, how fast do you leave? Simple question I'm asking. How fast do you leave? When you walk into the shop to buy something, how fast do you leave? Not fast. If Abba or Ammi went with you, they have to carry on telling you, son, let's go. Beta, let's go. Betty, let's go. No, wait, let me check this one also. Let me check that one also. Feeling the fabric, checking everything. Even check the hanger that it's on. Everything you check. And you spend as much time as you can because you are feeling very comfortable in that place. Because it is the kind of environment you are enjoying. You walk into the restaurant even after eating. You want to sit there for half an hour and make gupshup and there's nothing to do. Why? Because you are comfortable in that environment. You walk into a store, especially our brothers and sisters, when there's a sale. Husband's card gaya kam se. They'll be in there for hours. And you know men do that as well. Be there for hours. Why? Because we're comfortable with the environment. But when you walk into the masjid, you can't wait to turn salam and run. Am I right? Am I wrong? Maulana has taken too long today, 5 minutes more. But the same person who says too long, instead of going to work, will be standing in the yard making stories. I'm being very blunt. All these other places, we are so comfortable, and we do not want to leave. But the best place, which is the house of Allah, we can't wait to leave. What does that tell us about the condition of our nafs? What does that tell us about our spiritual state? Are we not becoming spiritually bankrupt? Is this not happening to us? Go back. Go back to the time of the companions of the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, who while arrows were being fired at them, they were making ruku and sujood. They were remembering the Creator Allah Almighty. They were obeying the commands of Allah and His beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, fidaka abi wa ummi. Learn from their lives. Look at our lives today. We want to ask ourselves, why am I in this condition? What is the problem? Why are we losing this identity? Why are we forgetting who we are? Because we forget almost every Jummah the same ayat. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah. Oh believers, fear Allah. Fear Allah. Where is the khawf al-Quda? Where is the fear of Almighty Allah? And Allah tells you, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah, fear Allah wa kunu ma'as-sadiqin. And stay in the company of good people, of righteous people. The reason that this identity is going away is because we are staying away from those whom we should be with. We are staying away from pious people. We are staying away from those who have knowledge of deen. We are staying away from those who spend their time in ibadah and salah and dhikr and reciting durood. We want to be with those who are gaming. How much you spend for your gaming, for your child? And I'm being very blunt because we have you today here on a holiday. Okay. How much, let's each of us ask, how much do you spend in a month for your child's gaming? And when your child is sitting, today they say, Maulana, people come to me and they say, Maulana, My son is 5 years or 6 years old. Hey, this child's concentration is gone. Can you give me a taweez? I said, the taweez is take the phone out of his hand. Give me a taweez. That is your taweez, your protector. When that child is on that phone and he is looking at it, even if you put biryani or laddu in his mouth, he don't know what he ate. Because his concentration is so much on that which the Yahud have made for us. Which the Yahud have put in our hands. Those Yahud have put something that even kept you away from durood. It kept you away from sending salam upon the Nabi. It keeps, leave the children. The adults are sitting with this for hours. Wife comes and complains, Maran, I don't know what to do. My husband doesn't leave his phone. Wife is complaining, husband is complaining, I don't know what to do. My wife goes to bed with the phone. What is the reason for this? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there will come a time when fitna will seep into your homes. When fitna will seep into your homes, though your doors and windows will be shut. Just of the narrations. Everything will be shut. But like rain, the fitna will seep into your home. How is it seeping into your home? You tell me, how is it seeping into your home? How is it that your daughter is having an affair or sitting and talking to a boy on a phone that she shouldn't be doing? Haram. Today we say, no, leave the children, give them some little leeway. Go and see how the beloved Nabi brought up Fatima Zahra. Go and look at the life of Fatima Zahra radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Look at the mother of Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Look at how she was brought up, that her father used to say, she's deaf, she's dumb, she's blind, she's paralyzed. And when asked, what do you mean she's such a beautiful and healthy girl? Said she has not looked at the ghair mahram again in her life for that reason. She doesn't hear anything against the command of Allah. She has not taken a step against what Allah and His Rasul have commanded. Right? Today, we are complaining about all the problems in our lives. We are looking at the destruction in our home. Tab bhi sudarne ka nahi. Still we're not willing to change. Though we know it, we are in denial. You know, when a person has a drug problem or some other issue, Allah protect us from this. This is another major problem. I'm telling you this while we're on the discussion, because we counsel. We used to see maybe a drug case in our children, especially in our females. Once in a blue moon, today we're seeing it out of control. Do you know why? Because you said to your daughter at night that better you go out and have coffee with the girls, come back by 10. Because you said to your son on a Saturday night, go and come back, make sure by 12 you're in the house. Say, Mom, I'm very strict with the children. I give them a 10 o'clock and a 12 o'clock curfew. Yani until then you left them in the hand of shaitan. That is not a curfew. This is not what we learned from the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we want to ask, why are we are losing this identity of ours? It's something we have to think about. Something we have to realize. We must look back. AALA HAZRAT Adimul Barakat, Imam Ahl Sunnat, Shah Imam Muhammad Raza Khan Fazl radiallahu anhu said beautifully. He said, Shab subh tak sona tujhe, dillah mein hona tujhe. Sharm-e Nabi, khaufe Khuda, ye bhi nahi, wo bhi nahi. This is our condition. We sleep till late morning. Fajr even goes. Okay? Shab subh tak sona tujhe, dillah mein hona tujhe. Your entire day goes like you are in entertainment. Wasting the time. Shab subh tak sona tujhe, dillah mein hona tujhe. Sharm-e Nabi, khaufe Khuda, ye bhi nahi, wo bhi nahi. Neither do you have any shame in the court of Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nor do you have any fear of Almighty Allah. How then are you going to rectify your home? How then are you going to rectify your community? How then are you going to rectify that which is around you? Yes, we are talking that today is the Jummah has been made niyat for the marhum, for the Isra of Haji Yusuf, and like they do every year, and also for Milad and Gauri Sharif. Yes, we are talking about this. But in this we have to understand, this is the time we get to pass these messages. That we have to understand that yes, we drink Mawlud al-Nabi, and every day is Mawlud al-Nabi for us. Not only today, every day is Mawlud al-Nabi for us. Because if it was not for Mawlud al-Nabi, you and I would not be able to do anything in our lives. Everything is the blessing of Rasul Pak, is the sadaqah of Rasul Pak. That is why Huzur Tajushariah even asked in the court of Ghaus Pak, ki sadaqah Rasul Pak ka joli mein dal. That's why he asked for that sadaqah of Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the way of the awliya. So we have doing all of that, but we must understand that if you want a future generation that is spiritually inclined, a future generation that will be inclined to the masjid, that will be inclined to the awliya Allah, that will be inclined to sitting in the dhikr of Almighty Allah, that will be inclined to reading books of deen rather than sitting on social media reading trash. Excuse my language. Then for doing this, we have to inculcate the pure identity in our children. We have to put in them the love for Allah. We have to put in them the love for Rasulullah Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to put in those children the importance of respecting and honoring the Sahaba and the Ahl Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when you respect the Sahaba, you respect all the Sahaba. When you respect the Sahaba, you respect all the Sahaba. You don't take one and leave everybody else. You honor all the companions of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You honor the noble household of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you need to teach your children this. And I said this before. I've said this many times in the past. We ask our children today. This is some football team. Who is the kya bolte? Forward. Who is the whatever? Striker and defender and this that. Not only one team. He can tell you for 10 teams. Not one team. He can tell you for 10 teams. Ask him 10 names of Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ask the children. Ask them about the beloved mother of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Probably they only will be able to tell you what they learned in madrasa if they can remember. What is the reason for this? Identity. We are forgetting our identity. Your identity is not that card. That is to show your identity here. We want that identity which you're going to show on Maidan al-Mahshar. When you're going to show on Maidan al-Mahshar, because of that identity, you and I will be given entrance into Jannatul Firdaus. That's the real identity. That's the identity that you need to preserve and protect, because without it, you will not go into Jannah. You don't want to lose your ID card here. If I lose it, problem in the bank, problem in traveling, problem in this, problem in that. And my ID is the safest. Keep it as safe as possible. But what about that identity that you need for the Akhirat? What about that which you're going to show on the day of Qiyamah? What is that? It is that heart which has the Ishq Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The way that you followed in the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is time for us to wake up. It is time for us, look, after seeing Palestine, can we not change? Is it so hard? Look at us, we are sitting on beautiful musallas. We're sitting under a roof. Where are they making their salahs? Where are their masajid? We are almost 20,000 babies and children there. They are in the cemeteries. Martyred. Why? Because of being Muslim. Look at all of that. And look at your life. How much of shukr do you make in your life? How many times did you make shukr since this morning? How many times did you thank Allah this morning for giving us all these ni'mats and these blessings? How much shukr have you made and I made that alhamdulillah I am in the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How much have you thanked Allah for those whose parents are alive, that alhamdulillah this morning when I got up I managed to see my mother's face. Alhamdulillah I managed to see my father's face. How many of us did that? Think about it. If you are not doing these things in your life, then you have definitely lost your identity. It's there, but you can't find it. Search for it. Search within yourself. Look for your true identity. And when you do find it, then you will see the beauty of being that person. You will see the beauty of being one who truly believes in Allah and His beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look, my brothers, life is very short. Afthab said I can take 5 minutes more of your time. I'm going to finish that 5 minutes in 1 minute. Life is very short. You and I have no guarantee. I said this before, nobody here in the masjid, I think, can stand up as a guarantee and tell me I will live for the next 30 seconds. You can't. If you live, it is the will of Allah. The awliya have said that we talk about months and years of our life. Before we put our foot down, you're just walking. You took one step. To take a step, you need to pick your foot. Before you put that foot down, the angel of death will come to you, if Allah wills. We are not even conscious of this. We're only conscious about dunya, money, power. This is our life. The people call it a rat race. When will it end? Do you know when it will end? Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, nothing will fill the stomach of Bani Adam except the sand of his qabr. Nothing will fill our stomachs except the sand of our qabr. What does that mean? We are running behind this dunya. When we end up inside our qabr, we'll realize it's only the dust and us. Everything else is up. Left it. सोचो तो जरा, कुछ गौर करो अपनी जिंदगी पे, कुछ फिक्र, think a little bit. Lamha fikr is very important to take some time to think, understand, change your life, and the best way to change وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ is to be in the company of the pious. Because when you stay in the company of light, you will enjoy light. You will put light in your own home. But if you stay in the company of darkness, you will not know that there is something called light. Stay in the company of the pious. Attach yourself to the awliya, to the beloved servants of Allah. And inshallah you will be successful here and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with firmness in deen. Protect us from the Wahhabis and these Dubandis and all the Bad Mazhabs and the Rafizis. And Allah ta'ala keep us in the Zumrah of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah always, in the shade of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa to all those who are in, all those that have asked me to make dua. Also I've been asked to make dua for brother Shafi Parak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him shifa kamil, sihat ajil. All others that are ill, Allah grant them shifa kamil, sihat ajil. Those that we know of or do not know of in the Ahl Sunnah. Those that have passed away in Ahl Sunnah, Allah exalt them in Jannat al-Na'im. Those that Janab Abdurrauf from Libya, or Dr. Abdurrauf, his sister's been very ill of late. Allah grant his shifa kamil, sihat ajil. And all those others that have asked us to make dua for them, dua for them, dua for all the marhooms of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Haji Yusuf, and all the other. Hafiz Sharif will give you the names for whose Isra today's mahfil was done, and Niyaz etc. has been prepared. Yes, and we make special dua also for the Sunni Muslims of Bangladesh that are going through difficult time there, the Sunni Muslims of the UK that are going through this problem with all the riots happening there. So wherever there is any difficulty and calamity upon the Ummah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove them from this calamity, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the lives, the honor, and the deen and the iman, especially of the Muslims of Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us with iman, and may we leave this world when the time is for us to leave with iman. Wa ma alayna al-balagh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.